the current Israel-Iran war, I know some believers or a lot of believers might not know that this is a biblical prophecy that is being unfolded before our eyes, and might not have paid attention to the biblical prophecy. And I know a lot of people are afraid that this is going to push the world into a third world war. But of course, if this is going to push the world into a third world war and to help to uproot evil, so be it. I am not saying this to instill fear in people, but this is the reality. It's a biblical prophecy. In fact, the more you read the Bible, the more you get to understand about the world. The Bible actually contains prophecies, events, things that are to unfold in the world. And that is why the Bible says that everything that happens is under the predetermined counsel and the full knowledge of God. Nothing happens at the blind side of God. That is why He is the Alpha and the Omega. He knows the beginning of the world to the end of the world and the things that are to happen in the world. So we are going to look at the biblical prophecy that is being fulfilled before our eyes. They will now look at the agenda that has actually been behind this war for decades. And the whole agenda is actually to Islamize the world. That's the agenda. And we'll look at how this war actually started around Gaza and how that it has turned into a religio-political affair to promote Islam and its ideologies. So let's get straight to the Bible and then unpack this biblical prophecy and see how it is being fulfilled before our eyes. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38. I know a lot of Christians might have heard about the Gog and Magog war and might think that is some kind of distance event that is to happen. But it's happening right now. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 2 and go to verse 5 to see this biblical prophecy. Then we now see how the prophecy is connected to Genesis chapter 10 verse 2. And it says that, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. So the question is, who is Gog and Magog, Meshach and Tubal? But the Gog and Magog here is referring to the sons of Japheth. And who is Japheth? Japheth was one of the sons of Noah. After the flood, they are all scattered across the globe and then relocated. The sons of Japheth relocated to the current day Russia. So the current day Russia is where the sons of Japheth relocated to. So let's confirm this in a prophetic revelation in Genesis chapter 10 verse 2. And it says that the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, Madai, Javan and Tubal and Meshach and Tyrus. So you see, these are the sons of Japheth. And in fact, history has it that the current day Russians are descendants of Japheth who migrated to this current day Russia. In fact, they are a mixture of Shemites and then the sons of Japheth. So now that you have seen this, so who is then specifically Gog and then the Magog and Meshach and Tubal? If you read the ASV version of the Bible, it specifically stated that the prince of Rosh, and if you look at Russia got its root name from Rosh. So Russia is rooted from the word Rosh, which is referring to current day Russia. So you see, so Magog is referring to Russia, and the prince here is referring to Vladimir Putin, who is now the prince of the cities of Meshach and Tubal. And the Meshach and Tubal here is referring to Moscow. See, and interestingly, these two people, the Russians and the Iranians, they are both descendants of Japheth. The Iranians are descendants of Japheth and Ishmael. You now understand why Vladimir Putin and Russia is showing interest in this war and is secretly behind supporting Iran with technology, with weapons to fight against Israel. And the next thing people will ask is that, where is Iran in this picture? Now, if you go to the verse 5, the verse 5 talks about Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. These are actually allies that are going to stand with Iran against Israel. But we are going to have China, North Korea, Russia, and all these other nations that are going to join hands with Iran to fight against Israel. And this is also another prophecy in Psalm 2 verse 2 to 5 that says that the kings of the earth have risen up against the anointing of the Lord, but the Lord will laugh at them and put them into derision, and that is where he will now pour his wrath and anger upon them. So let them gather together and come and meet the wrath of God. So the Persia there in the verse 5 is Iran. But Iran is the modern day Persia. In the biblical days, Iran was known as Persia. If you hear about the Persia kingdom, it's referring to current day Iran. That is a name that has been changed from Persia to Iran. And the story of Esther in the Bible actually happened in Iran, and the biblical days was known as Persia. So it happened at Shushan. So Shushan was actually in current day Iran. And interestingly, when we talk about Holocaust against the Jews, people think it was something started by Adolf Hitler, but not. The first Holocaust that was started against the Jews was Haman in the story of Esther. Remember, he plotted to exterminate all the Jews, but then that plot was thwarted by Queen Esther. And interestingly, this Haman is also a descendant of Esau. So you see, so if you look at it, it's a brotherly hatred that exists from the biblical days to today. Hatred between Esau and Jacob is what is still is a remnant of it that is still pursuing the world to today. So Haman was a descendant of Esau. And then the Russians and then the Iranians, they are also descendants from that root, or from Japheth to Ishmael. And that connection, they are also connected to Esau. So no wonder they also have that hatred towards Israel and God's people. The whole agenda of Iran is to Islamize the world. That's just the whole agenda. And they see America and Israel to be a stumbling block against their agenda. It's a whole geopolitical ideology that was started in 1979 during the Islamic Revolution. After Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile on February 1st, 1979, they overthrew the then leader, who was known as Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. And then Ruhollah Khomeini became the Islamic leader. And that is where the whole ideology was hatched, to Islamize the world up to today. To confirm this ideology that was started by Ruhollah, let's look at some of his speeches that confirm the whole agenda to Islamize the world. And he's quoted as saying, "We should try how to export our revolution to the world. We shall confront the world with our ideology." Then he went further to explain what he meant by this statement. Exporting the revolution means exporting the humanizing culture of Islam. We are proud of this work and this task. So you see where it is coming from after today. So when Ayatollah succeeded him, Ayatollah was also pushing forward the same agenda, the same religio-political agenda. You now understand why Ayatollah, the Iranian supreme leader that was killed, why he was sponsoring terrorism. He was sponsoring Hamas and other deadly terrorists across the world. Is on this agenda, the evil agenda of Islamizing the world and nothing else. And that is why in my previous videos I talk about Donald Trump being the Cyrus of this era. And indeed he is. There's a reason why God allowed Trump to come to power, because of some of these things. And he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So it doesn't matter what sort of names people call him. It's just they are ignorant. They do not know what is happening. And sadly, there are a lot of good Muslims out there who really don't understand their religion. For them, it is God they are seeking. But unfortunately, on the wrong aisle. They don't know. But Ayatollah has repeatedly referred to Israel as a deadly cancerous growth that will undoubtedly be uprooted and then destroyed. And that is not all. In 2015, he made a prediction that by 25 years' time, Israel is going to be totally exterminated and will be out of existence, because they are going to put out strategies to make sure that they annihilate the whole of Israel. What an evil agenda. No wonder that he was killed in this war, because the Bible says that the wicked shall fall by their own sword. Remember when Haman plotted to exterminate the Jews, what happened? He was rather the one that was hanged. So this is the same thing that has played out against Ayatollah. You see, and one thing people might not know is that Iran did a ritual sacrifice by killing a red heifer. In fact, this red heifer, they have looked for this red heifer for years, because anytime they find one, they will check with a microscope. The ritual demands that they get a red heifer that is purely red, with no single hair on it that is different from being red. And when they finally got this red heifer, they did a sacrifice with the hope that they are going to win this war against Israel, then Islamize the world. The one thing that is to their ignorance is that Christ did a perfect sacrifice with his blood, and that blood is supreme over any other blood. So you see, so it's an agenda they are pursuing in futility, which is not going to happen. So currently what is happening, that even if the whole world stand up against Israel, they are going to be defeated. Why? Because Israel is a covenant land. It's a covenant land, and there is no way Iran can win the war against Israel. It's never going to be possible. Not that I am wishing it. It's not just possible. If they defeat Israel, means that they defeated God. And can you defeat God? Impossible. So let the Gog and Magog, let them gather together and meet the wrath of God upon them. This war is actually the battle of the Lord, according to Exodus 14:14. From next year onwards, you will start hearing that fire is coming out of the ground in Iran. In fact, about half of the population in this war shall be destroyed. And if you are a believer, please remember to pray for Israel. But this is a spiritual battle. It's not just a physical battle. In the spiritual realms, battles are fought. Angels are fighting with demons. Battles are fought. So please remember to pray for Israel. If you are a believer, remember to pray for Israel. And it has a reward when you pray for Israel. After Iran is defeated, their evil ideology is defeated, we are going to see a lot of Muslims being saved for Christ. Just watch it out. This is what is going to happen. For definitely, light must prevail over darkness.
Thank you for visiting Seeking the Light 300 channel. Subscribe for more enlightening content.